Hello internet people, I'm Gabby and I have a secret to tell you. Please don't tell anyone. I'm a witch, I am not a muggle. Welcome to my channel, hope you are doing great. If you're new here, hello, welcome, I'm Gabby. The truth is, I'm a reader and that means I live in a crazy fantasy world with unrealistic expectations. I love reading books. I love going on great adventures with my friends full of paper. I found a lot of questions related to books and reading, so yeah, it is time to talk about books and reading. The first question is, bookmark or a random piece of paper? I don't have a lot of bookmarks, so I'm just going to say a random piece of paper. This is the clear example that I use a random piece of paper. I'm currently reading this book from this man who was at Alcatraz a lot of years ago. I recently went to Alcatraz, so I'm using my Alcatraz ticket as a bookmark. I usually use a random piece of paper, or what I do is I print something that has to do with the book or a reading quote or something like that, and I use that as a bookmark. Second question is, can you stop reading anytime you want, or do you have to stop at a certain page/part? I started doing this a couple months ago, but I usually finish on a chapter. So I read chapter 1 and I finish reading on chapter 2 or chapter 3, but I usually stop reading on a chapter. Of course, if I have something to do, like go out to the store or help my mom to do something or whatever, I stop reading. I'm not going to tell my mom, hey mom, wait, I have to finish this chapter. Third question is, do you eat or drink while reading? I don't eat anything, but because I don't like my books to get dirty from any kind of food or any substance, so I do not eat while I'm reading. What I'll do is just close the book, put it near me, and eat something, and then continue reading, as the same as drinking water. I'm sometimes a bit clumsy, so I don't want to ruin any of my books, so that's why I don't drink or eat while reading. The first question is, can you read while listening to music/watching TV? No. I have this thing where I can focus completely in two different things at the same time. And yeah, it's either I'm reading or I'm paying attention to the music. I can't do both, because if I'm listening to the music and I'm reading, I'm just like but I don't process the information I have just read. So yeah, this is something that started happening to me like 6 months ago. I really prefer to read without any noise or anything disturbing. The fifth question is, one book at a time or several at once? So many people throughout my life have told me, just read one book at a time, because if you read several books at once, everything is going to get confusing and you aren't going to fully focus on a story. But to me, that's a lie. I can read several books at once and not mess up any character or any event that happened. The next question is, reading out loud or silently in your head? I usually, like 99% of the time, I read silently in my head. But I don't know why, randomly, sometimes I just start like reading, not loud, but like cars, people are driving. I mumble. The seventh question is, what is your favorite language to read in? Well, considering that I only have 3 books in Spanish in my room, well, I love reading in English. I think it is because when they translate it to Spanish or any other language, I don't feel like the context or the use of words stays the same. Sometimes they use like a different word that doesn't completely mean the same thing as the original language, so it changes things. The 8th question is, what makes you love a book? So the 3 things that make me love a book is, the first one, the story, of course. It has to have an interesting story, and the story has to be one that makes me want to read more and more until I finish the book. So it has to have a great story. It has to be well written. Like a well-written story to me is a story that when I'm reading it, I feel what the character is feeling. The second thing that makes me love a book is the characters. There has to be a character which I fully connect and a character that makes me go like, wow. The third thing is, what makes me love a book is that it changes something in me. If it doesn't change something in me, I don't consider it a great book. It changes you in some way. It doesn't matter the way. It doesn't matter if suddenly you start acting all dauntless and you are like, ha, yeah, I'm dauntless. Or it doesn't matter if you start dressing all in blue because you think you're erudite. It doesn't matter the way it changes you, but it has to change something obviously positive in you. The next question is, name a book you didn't finish reading. I was reading Aragon. The book is about the dragon and I have no idea what else because I completely forgot. But I was reading Aragon and I was on the train. I have no idea at what point or in what moment I left the book, who knows where, and I got off the train and thinking that I had my precious Aragon book on my backpack. But when I arrived to the hotel and when I wanted to read the book again, I realized that the book was gone. I started freaking out because I thought maybe someone stole my book. But then I realized I wasn't careful enough and that I have lost my book. So yeah, I didn't finish reading that book. The 10th question is, if you could marry a fictional character, who will it be? Newt from the Maze Runner series. And first off, I love Newt from the movie. I think the actor they chose, Thomas Sangster, was a great choice to be Newt. But I also love Newt from the book because Newt from the book is just amazing and has something very special to me. So yeah, I would marry Newt. Next question is, can you name 5 characters whose names start with an H? So the first one, Harry Potter from the Harry Potter books, Hermione Granger from Harry Potter, Haymitch from the Hunger Games saga, Henry from Silver, and Hedwig from Harry Potter. Our 12th question is, which books did you read this year? Eleanor and Park, Fangirl, A Work in Progress, The Giver, Silver, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Really Professional Internet Person, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Wonder, and read them on my iPad. So, Paper Towns, The Scorched Trials, and The Death Cure. Next question is, Harry Potter or the Twilight Saga? Give 3 points to defend your answer. If the answer isn't obvious, Harry Potter. The first point is because I haven't read the Twilight Saga and I don't plan on reading it, and I have never seen the movies except for Breaking Down Part 1 and Breaking Down Part 2. The second point is because I'm a Harry Potter fan. I love and breathe Harry Potter. The third point is because I'm not a muggle, so obviously Harry Potter. The fourth question is, do you smell your books? What kind of question is that? Who in this world smells books? I have no idea. It smells like a beautiful story. Of course I smell books. The 15th question is there a book that changed the way you thought about things? And the answer is yes! I read this book like this year, in the middle of this year, and I loved it. I couldn't stop reading it. I read it on class, I read it on the bus, I read it at home. I read it everywhere. I truly think this book, Wonder, changed something in me. This one made me look at my life in a different way. It made me appreciate every single little thing in my life. This book made me realize that there are people out there who are really struggling with something very big and they still enjoy their life and make the most out of it. This is it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to share with me what's your favorite book, why you love books, who's your favorite character, who's your favorite villain, what kind of books you read the most, please comment below. Share with me any thoughts you have about books or anything in general. I will see you next week with the new video, and my next week's video is going to be very different. I'm not going to be here on my room, on this room we have seen for 5 videos now. Please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next week. Adios.